Alright, so this is a little information about taking out the alternator on a Ford Escort. Easiest way to do it. Not coming through the top. You can barely even see the light down there. There's a lot of stuff in the way. You have to dismantle a whole bunch of stuff, deal with a whole bunch of hoses and all that kind of crap. Busting up your knuckles all day. This might seem intimidating, but taking out the axle is not hard. All I did was detach the swing arm there at the bottom. One bolt. That's it. You don't have to mess with anything else. This whole thing moves out of the way. Once you have that set up, you can dismantle the axle nut. The big guy right there, 32 millimeter. You pull the axle off by pulling this out and kind of pushing it through. And then you're gonna see those two guys right there. Those two hold on this bracket on the axle. It's just two little nuts. You take those off and the entire shaft comes out really easily. You just pull on it. You shouldn't have to pry or anything. The whole thing will just come out. And that's it. So really four nuts. Four things to unbolt, I guess. And then you have the axle out of the way, swing this out, and that's it for that. Then you want that guy up there, twist that to release tension on the belt. 3/8 inch ratchet, you just stick in that little square guy there. And then get the belt off the pulley. And then there's a big empty gap here. Well, let me tell you, it was a pain in the ass getting it off. So the alternator bracket is here. Now this whole assembly mounts up into the truck or into the Escort this fashion, this orientation. And so you have the alternator here. These two are the easiest to get out. That one's a bitch. You have to remove, or at least move, this plastic splash guard out of the way. It's just some plastic rivets. Use a screwdriver, pop them out. And then you can get at it from this side above the steering shaft. It's tight, it's hard to get to, but you can get to it with some extensions and creativity. Once you get all three of those off, this will be loose. You can kind of move it out of the way, because then the next fun part starts. The alternator mounting bracket sits on top like that, and then once you kind of move the alternator out of the way, you'll need to get to these three mounting holes. They're not easy to see. You kind of have to get underneath and look for them. But there are three. That was the easiest. That was a little bit harder. This one's the bitch near the engine. But once you get that out of the way, then the alternator's really free, really loose. And then you have a couple plugs, a couple things you gotta take care of. There's this one plug that's dangling right there that you just undo. There's a bigger plug on the back, and then there's the actual power cable. Now make sure that you're disconnected your battery already. Otherwise, if you touch that, it might zap you. Don't ask me how I know. There'll be one other thing kind of attached here, and that's part of that plug and part of the harness. The blue, the yellow, all that stuff was connected to here, and so I pushed it all the way. And once that's all disconnected, it's in the truck like that, the orientation that you want it, so then you can wiggle it out of this really tight hole. You have to turn the pulley away, so basically you're holding on to these two ears in your left hand, and it'll come out just like that. So when you're looking at it from underneath the car, you're gonna be holding on to the left, have your hand on the right ear, and you're just gonna pull it straight out towards you like that with the pulley away from you. And so when you put it back in, that's how you have to hold it, like this, and kind of fish it in, holding on to the left. And that's how you dismantle and take out an alternator out of the piece of shit found on Road Dead Escort, where they put parts in the worst place to try and replace them. That's why you buy a Subaru. Yeah.